music is personal to all of us and we all have different experiences with it. But when I was listening specifically to Warriors of Light, you have many pieces in your catalog that people can find and listen to, but it's funny you use the word strong, because for me, what was strong about the whole album, from production to vocals to songwriting to arrangements, it just felt so cohesive. And when albums like that come along, not that often, where they feel like they've been there forever. And you can't really see how it was made because there aren't really cracks in the construction. And I'm talking about that as someone who's involved in making music, but it has this robust, very multi-layered energy to it. And so hearing you talk about that makes sense to me a bit more. But can I ask you to talk about the song Liberate? Because that's one that got immediately under my skin, and I'm an obsessive song person. So if a certain song, I will then have it on repeat for hundreds of times. Haven't quite got to 100 yet, but that's a song that I'm like, oh my God, I have to play this again and again and again.
Well, thank you for boosting my plays, first of all.
You're welcome. Apple Music, they're coming from Apple Music.
Oh, good,
yeah.
good. That's great. That pays more.
I know. So that's why I play my music on Apple Music.
Really appreciate it. That song was really the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, which is in the song, which is the chorus of the song, was something that held me. It was an anchor point for me. Any time where I felt like I was bending a little too far in the wind of my mind, I would chant that mantra and it would bring me back. And at the same time, the world was going through what it was going through. And I sat on the piano and I remember just sitting on the piano and playing a melody, and the first line is, "Are you there?" Because I think at that time, many of us were questioning what we believe in. I know I have. We all do. Anyone who's on the conscious spiritual path, I think they'd be lying if they said they didn't falter or waver or have doubt or many questions. And I think we were at a time where we were questioning everything that we thought was real. And there was a mirror inside of myself going on that was it was reflecting what was going on in the world. And there are lines in that song, it says, "Are you there in the corners of the darkness? Do you hear the cries amongst a billion souls I feel?" Because I've always been a very, very deep feeling person. And sometimes the wave of energy that comes through, I know it's not just got to do with me. I'm feeling something far greater.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I felt in my body and my system. And that's how the song came, because I think that any angst that we feel collectively, individually, is because we're seeking something and not listening. We're not listening to the need to answer that question. The question's there, but we're not brave enough to go there. And it's burdensome. We're burdened by that which we want to know, but we dare not go to. So that's why the song's called Liberate, because you want to free yourself. I want to free myself of this question, but I have to ask the question and be brave enough to go there. And the Mahamrityunjaya mantra makes us brave. It's actually from the Rig Veda, and it's a mantra that actually helps us face death. That's what it is. And whenever there's any fear of venturing in a certain direction, it's because we're fearing the end of something. And so that's why it was just natural. It's not something I sat down and went, oh, well, this mantra is cool and I want to write about this and I'm going to just put it together. It was a very lived experience for me. That song was very easy to write because it came from something very deep and painful. I think that's the place where the most natural is, when you just allow the feelings and the emotions and you're seeking to express itself. You don't have to have the answer, but you need your seeking to express itself. And then whatever is meant to come will come.
And it's interesting you say that, because my own experience as a songwriter, it's always the songs that are written in 10 minutes that are the ones that you like, where did that come from? You're not very involved. They tend to have the most resonance. But what I relate to listening to you talk about Liberate is why that song immediately called to me is I felt like your vocal in that song and the song itself, but your vocal finds its way inside the emotional body very quickly. And that's what we get. It's like, oh, this is some kind of emotional activation, healing, And so that's interesting that, you know, that now hearing you explain a little bit about the genesis of how it landed here on earth through you, it makes sense to me, because I do think well, go and listen to not only the whole album, but go and listen to the song Liberate, and I think you'll know what we're talking about if you haven't heard it already.
Well, it's a yearning to come home. Like, you know, our soul is here for a little bit of time in whatever incarnation it is. And in, you know, the Vedic system, we believe we come back again and again and again. It's a real delight. But really, we're seeking to go home. And going home means many things to me. It means going home to the source, going home to truth, going home to your own internal kingdom. So that, again, it's that when we don't listen to that is when the pain comes. So the song really is wanting to break out of this prison. That's what it feels like to me when I listen to it. And if you listen to the counter melodies at the end, it says, hear my call, let me fall. I know you're there. You know, it's like, bring me home. You know what I mean? And that's everything to me. And for me, you can only go there if you are completely free, because it's only when you're free of this body and you're free of everything that you're actually liberated to return to where you come from.
True.